This is a short excerpt from Jordan Peterson's wonderful The Immortality Key, Psychedelics in the Ancient Age with Brian Muraresku and Professor Carl Ruck. I'm focusing on Carl because he's saying things that are dumbfounding me. Amazing. Watch.
I think that he experimented with hallucinogens.
Who?
Carl Jung. Because he knew things, he knows things that you just can't believe anybody could know.
We know he spent a year in Taos. I have a house in Taos, and that year is not documented, but he was experimenting with mind-altering substances.
Psilocybin?
Probably.
Was that before or after the Red Book, do you know?
I think the Red Book came out of that.
So, can you briefly outline the thesis of the Road to Eleusis?
They all saw something at exactly the same time in a chamber after they had been prepared by long indoctrination as to what they were supposed to see and so forth. But on cue, they saw something, and
do you see that as a continuation of the shamanic tradition?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
There's no way you can make a group of people, several thousand people, see something all at the same time by drumming or fasting or anything of that kind. It's going to be haphazard. Some people may have a transcendent experience and others won't. But on cue, every year, a large group of people had a vision after they drank a potion whose ingredients are known. So that's what makes it interesting.
Do you have some sense of the contents of the vision?
Yeah.
Can you outline that?
I can quote, because of course to say what it was openly was prohibited under the pain of death. But in a play of Euripides, the Ion, Corlo says that when you pass through the gates of the hall of initiation, you will see the stars dance, and with them dance the moon. But I have to remind you that the hall of initiation has a solid roof. You cannot see the sky. The only way you can see the stars dance, and with them dance the moon, is if you have transcended the physical, passed to the edge of the cosmos, which is what is described in ancient poems of the shamanic journey, to the edge of the cosmos, and are there dancing amongst the celestial bodies.
The very stars in the solemn skies go round with the moon to the dancing hour, and the 50 maidens of Navs rise from sea and river their maiden bower.
What about other experiences that you've had, if you want to talk about them, and you're certainly not obligated to?
So, but I did have experience with LSD and with psilocybin.
And did you have a classic shamanic experience with those substances?
Yes, very intense.
And did it involve dying?
It involved, I mean, it's very hard to talk about this because if I talk about it, some people will think I'm a religious leader and I'll have a following and they want me to establish a church.
So, okay, so I'm going to push you again, if you don't mind. I would be more interested in your take on this. You've had these experiences. You're a trained classicist. What is this reality that's being laid out in these experiences, and how do you understand it?
I think of it as a journey to discover who you are. And when you go on this journey, it gets dangerous, and you feel that maybe you should turn back, but just up ahead, it looks as though it might be even more interesting up there. So you go further and further and further. And when you get to the end of the journey, what you find is yourself looking back. I said I'm not going to found a church, but there is no God. You're so stupid. Don't you realize you are God?
Gilgamesh goes down to the bottom of the ocean like Pinocchio does, and he brings back the herb of immortality, but it's stolen, I believe, by a snake on the way back. That's the case? That's the story? Is that
Yes.
a shamanic story as well?
Yes.
And so we go out to the edge of the world to gather wisdom, but on the way back we lose it and we can't bring it back. Or we can only bring back fragments of it. We're not capable of bringing back it all.
Once you wake up, it's hard to remember the dream.
That's a good place to stop.
But we could add one thing.
Yes, definitely.
A very important technique is to enter the dream world, and when you're dreaming, don't decide you want to wake up, but carry consciousness into the dream, in which case you've entered this world. You're in the spirit world. You're in control of everything.
Have you been able to lucid dream?
Yes.
Are you an avid practitioner?
I used to practice it more than I do now because I came to realize that what I was trying to do was die. There's no sense in hurrying the process. Well, I mean, once you do that, once you dissociate your spirit from your body, you might decide you don't want to go back in again. And that's what happens when you die. But the moment when you do that, when you bring consciousness into your unconscious reality, is extremely orgasmic, pleasant feeling.
Well, it's pretty obvious that I went to town with the editing, my edition of the photographs and dance sequence. I hope does not irritate anybody, but this is a fascinating subject for me. It's a passion as well. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me at Running Naked in a State of Grace. It was only when I watched everything everywhere all at once that I could even acknowledge what happened to me and begin to write about it. Thank you.